Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys and offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Luba Workers' Comp, a regional insurance carrier dedicated to providing reliable workers' compensation coverage to employers and workers in 13 states across the Southeast. With personalized service, trusted expertise, and tailored solutions, Luba helps businesses protect what matters most. Discover more at lubawc.com. And by J.P. Morgan Chase, a partner in financial planning. Looking ahead to retirement, growing your business, or for commercial banking, J.P. Morgan Chase offers advice and solutions tailored to individual needs and client well-being. More information is at jpmorganchase.com.
From Collins on St. Charles Avenue in Uptown New Orleans, we're Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, Tulane University A.B. Freeman School of Business professor and director of the Birkenroad Reports. It's business, New Orleans style.
Hi, I'm Peter Raschuti. Welcome to Out to Lunch. New Orleans has given the world all kinds of music. We refer to ourselves as the birthplace of jazz. We're one of the principal breeding grounds of funk, bounce, and brass band music. And then there's a style of piano playing that's so identifiably from here, it's called New Orleans piano. Generations of legendary New Orleans piano players became identified with the places they played. Fats Domino at the Dewdrop Inn, Professor Longhair at Tipitina's, James Booker at the Maple Leaf. Today you can hear masters of New Orleans piano like Jon Cleary and Tom McDermott and Joe Krown and others at clubs around town like Chickie Wah Wah, the Bon Temps, and Buffas. Or you can hear them at your own place. You can have A-list piano players show up at your place with a grand piano and play your birthday party, your wedding, or just a random Friday night, thanks to Jacques Furland's business, Piano on a Truck. Piano on a Truck is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a grand piano on the back of a yellow 1972 International pickup truck, and it comes with or without a piano player. Jacques Furland, welcomed Out to Lunch.
Thank you.
In our seemingly never-ending attempt to place order in a chaotic world, we like to categorize things into twos, either or, tall or short, black or white, on the rocks or straight up. Today, for a lot of white-collar occupations, the either-or distinction is either working in the office or working from home. Well, like so many things in life, it turns out there's a third way. Billy Schell describes himself as CEO, owner, and van driver of an apparel company called NOLA Shirts. NOLA Shirts designs and manufactures New Orleans-themed polo shirts, t-shirts, and hats, and sells them online or at various brick-and-mortar stores around New Orleans. The van driver in Billy's job description is a reference to the company's headquarters, which are also Billy's living quarters, a Mercedes Sprinter van that's been his principal home and office since 2021. Billy Schell, welcomed Out to Lunch.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Jacques, piano on a truck might be the best thing to come out of the COVID pandemic. When music venues were closed and musicians were starving, putting a piano and pianist on a truck and parking it on the street was an inspired piece of problem solving. Since then, Piano on a Truck has become a New Orleans institution. You're not a musician or a music promoter, you're a piano technician. You repair, restore, and tune pianos. That's an artistic, technical, and mostly solitary pursuit. Dealing with musicians and customers is the exact opposite of that. So now that you're in the business side of the music business, do you find yourself a prisoner of your own success, or have you found that you enjoy being a music promoter?
No, I'm definitely a prisoner. I mean, there's nothing fun about taking calls and trying to make things work. I'm forced to do it. It just takes time, which is, I've got better things to do with my time than to, call people and all that. But overall, it doesn't take that much time in my day, maybe 10 minutes maximum. So, it's just a matter of being organized. And, it took me a while, but I got there.
10 minutes, that's great.
Well, I'm guessing. I mean,
Plus or minus an hour.
Plus or minus,
It sure is. And I'm sure people have asked you this since you started up. But what about a band on a truck or a singer-songwriter on a truck? You ever going in that direction?
Well, yeah. I mean, not me per se, but there's a place, Bywater Bakery, that hires me occasionally, and they hire the piano player. And occasionally they hire a full band. So I've had Oscar Rossignoli play the piano with John Butte singing, and then, bass player, and, just all spread out. David Turkanowski did the same thing, except he put the drummer on top of the grand piano. So you had the kick drum right in his face, which is kind of brave. But yeah, the guy was playing way up there, and and he actually he had the full band on the piano. So you had the singer, like in the nook of the piano, let's say, in the curve, and the bass player on the tailgate. So yeah, we've done that.
Billy, running a business out of a van that you also live in gives you an enormous amount of flexibility. You can take Zoom meetings and send emails from the rolling hills of the Pacific Northwest, the sunny beaches of Southern California, or the wide open spaces of Wyoming. So, of all the products you could be manufacturing and selling, it seems, almost perverse that you're making shirts and hats that celebrate New Orleans, products it's hard to imagine anyone buying outside of New Orleans. I can see the attraction of the hashtag van life lifestyle, but it would seem that being on the road would only make this New Orleans-centric business more difficult to run. So why do it?
Not necessarily, Peter. There's so many people out there that love New Orleans. It's everywhere I go. Even when I wasn't doing this, and you go visit somebody in New York or Chicago or whatever, there's a party, they gravitate to New Orleans people. It's amazing. So I think New Orleans is pretty international, and that's why it's easy to do. And I'm working in New Orleans a lot these days, but just to get it more rooted, and so the internet sales start to follow as well. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of freedom.
Most New Orleans-centric apparel is kind of fun or tongue-in-cheek, from Bourbon Street to Dirty Coast. Your designs are more subtle, something a New Orleanian might buy rather than a tourist. Are New Orleanians your target market?
It's really funny that you say that. Yeah, everybody is my target audience. It's just subtle. It's classic. It's sleek, and I get those comments all the time from thousands of different people saying those exact words. It's classic, it's understated, that's why I like it so much. However, to be more attractive to the tourist, I do have my logos, and I am going to be expanding them onto t-shirts and making it a silk screen, so it's big, right in your face, our logo, and on the back it'll have our little tagline. But other than that, it's funny that you even mentioned that, because I'm starting that project most probably in the next week or so.
And kind of intimate questions, but where do you shower, for instance?
I was going to ask the columns if they had.
No, that's bad.
I'm just asking.
They're so nice already.
No. Planet Fitness is my friend. They every time I walk in, they say, "Hey, welcome. How are you doing? Enjoy your workout." I'm like, "Okay, sounds great." So I go in the shower, I take a shower in the men's room, and come back out and just wave to them. 15 minutes later, it's my quick, fast workout. See y'all tomorrow.
The piano on a truck idea. I actually just saw you driving down the street once and was so fascinated by it. Do you do it because you think there's just a market still out there after COVID? And I guess I could ask you, what has happened to business since the...
Well, yeah, no, business has died off, obviously, and that's okay, to be honest. The idea wasn't to create this business as an all-consuming pastime. It was just, kind of like a supplement everything else I do, which is, move pianos, tune pianos, fix pianos, like all that. And originally, it did start before COVID. The idea was to, putting a piano on a truck is not a big deal. But a grand piano is a statement. So I started with that, and it wasn't really successful because the piano players were like, kind of, this is weird. And it wasn't until, they had no choice, like, okay, all the venues are closed now. Are you my friend?
Sign me
And they were like, yeah, well, okay, this is weird, but I'm making money, so that was good. And now it's more like I don't chase after business. I get a lot of repeat customers, and those are the ones that I'm keeping it alive for. Plus, it's a lot of fun. But if people weren't calling me, I just pack it in.
Jacques, you explained the big truck and how this all works, but are you limited to how far you can go? I can't. I would crack up if there was a truck with a grand piano in front of me on the interstate.
Yeah. Okay. So the first piano truck was my work truck, my F-150. So it was just like whatever construction stuff or piano moving truck. And it was a decent truck. I would take it on the highway and not have any problems. And I would go to the West Bank and, I never went to Slidell, but I wasn't afraid to go anywhere with that thing. This truck, a 1972 International that lived most of its life in Pennsylvania, so it's got a nice amount of rust on it. I go 40, and that's fast. So in order for me to bring it uptown, I don't take the interstate. I go all the back roads. It takes me an extra 10, 15 minutes. I don't care. It's.
Did you ever try to get that baby through the French Quarter?
Yeah, once in a while. I've got clients in the in the French Quarter. Again, repeat customers. They call me once in a while, and yeah, it's not fun. And there's no power steering, of course. And until I changed the master cylinder, brake master cylinder, I wasn't too sure of the brakes either. So the first few times I ventured out, I had my buddy drive my other pickup truck in front of me. And I said, look, if the brakes fail, I'm going to crash into you. This is, you're my brakes.
That was a backup brake system.
That was my backup
Very
brake
impressive.
system. And then I changed the master cylinder, and we were all good.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Jacques Ferland from Piano on a Truck and Billy Schell from NOLA Shirts. We'll continue our conversation when we come right back from this short break.
Out to Lunch is brought to you by Basics Underneath. Fine lingerie, personalized fitting, curated swimsuits, and workout wear. Uptown on Magazine Street and at basicsunderneath.com. And by Tulane Innovation Institute, presenting Startup Sprint, an immersive weekend event on January 31st for aspiring entrepreneurs to develop, prototype, and pitch their startup ideas. Open to everyone. Details at innovation.tulane.edu/startupsprint. And by Tracy Moore, broker, realtor, and partner at Rev Realtors, offering over 20 years of experience representing buyers, sellers, and investors. Learn more at tracy.revrealtors.com. Additional support comes from NOLA Massage, a professional bodywork studio on Magazine Street, Uptown, offering a full range of bodywork, including therapeutic and lymphatic massage, cupping, and infrared sauna. More information and online bookings are at nolamassagetherapy.com. And from Bougie Bologna Company, made in Cajun country from 100% naturally smoked pork shoulder, Bougie Bologna is premium deli meat to go. In the meat department at Rouse's Supermarkets or at bougiebologna.com. It's bougie, baby.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Jacques Ferland from Piano on a Truck, the business that brings New Orleans piano players to your place, and Billy Schell from NOLA Shirts, the apparel company he's running out of a Sprinter van. Billy, one thing we left out is, I'm just trying to picture this tricked out van is what it is. Do you manufacture these things in the van?
I do not. That would be a little tight quarters. I've got a place actually in Fort Collins, Colorado, that does all my embroidering and silk screening. And I've been with Bert Shirts for the past since I was 12. So I've been doing this kind of crazy selling T-shirt business, and then it graduated into Noah Shirts right after Katrina, and that's when I came up with the logos and all that kind of stuff.
But to make a stand, put another way, is you had more of a normal life at one point. And that must have been incredible to say, no, I can live in a van.
You know, it's not as tough as you think.
Jacques, I'm trying to figure, this isn't your business. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not a registered business. It's not a not-for-profit. What would you describe it as?
Look, when COVID happened and everything was locked down, I figured, let's just say we're busking. So it's an extension of the musician. He's not playing a guitar, he's playing a piano. And if, the city never harassed me about it, but if the cops were ever like, hey, you can't do this, I'm like, busking's legal here. But it's never been an issue. What is it? It's a piano rental, in short. I mean, I can... if you have a party in your backyard and you want to turn it into a piano bar, here you go. I'll back the truck right. I mean, I did that right here, 2812 St. Charles. Just friend's house. They're having a wedding and all that. Parked the piano truck in the driveway. And so what is it? Yeah, piano rental, I guess, the long and short. And affordable piano rental. I think that's, key because... there were some corporate people types that were interested in what I do and like, oh, well, sign all these documents and get this insurance and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't want to play that game. I just want it to be fun, affordable, and for the locals, really. And the locals are the ones that made it possible by hiring me. And that's the main reason I'm keeping it alive. So, yeah, if you hesitate at $200 for an hour, it's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings. It's not very expensive.
I use that music is what one of the things that would connect you, but really, to be honest, it's really catastrophes, right? I mean, Jacques, that's where you got going at COVID, and
definitely where it took off.
And Billy, you started NOLA Shirts after Katrina, and then you started the van pretty much after COVID.
Well, yeah, I went down the rabbit hole just like everybody else, trying to figure out what the heck are we going to do. And I wound up in a van. Sold my house, bought a van, packed the 2 labs in and said, let's go, boys.
Oh, you've got dogs in there.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 Labrador Retrievers, Saz and Alvin, they're the greatest. Give them a plug.
That's even better. Billy, do you make sales calls?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to picture what this would look like.
Yeah, absolutely. After I take my shower at Planet Fitness.
You smell fine, by the way.
Put on some nice clothes, and yeah, absolutely. I've got 4 stores in New Orleans that I had to obviously make sales calls on, and so yeah, that's I'm still with the community. I do everything but going to a brick and mortar house at night. It's really interesting. It kind of I know it's a little on the strange side, the whole van life. But it's, when I think of it, it's just, I don't necessarily ask you, so you're going home, you have a house, and where are you going to take a shower? You don't necessarily ask those kind of questions, you know what I mean? Just to normal friends hanging out, hey, are you going home tonight? Where's your house? Are you okay? So we have it all, it's all situated.
I have to ask this, I always hear this with companies with a new product. When you make an arrangement with a store, do they have some sort of workaround where they're not going to compete with somebody right next door? No, I mean,
the reason why I laugh is because I have 3 of my 4 stores are on Magazine Street, and they're all cool with it, which is great. They're all very different stores. to a certain degree, and we're not stepping on each other's toes there. So yeah.
So you haven't read that business book about trying to separate the customers?
I've had yeah. I need to maybe if you have one to suggest.
But it seems like you could expand outside of this area. I mean, there would be a market across the lake, things like that.
Absolutely, but not necessarily that much further, I would think. That's why I'm trying to drive the internet sales, NOLAshirts.com, and that's where everybody can go online, order whatever you need, and we ship it out within 24 hours, believe it or not, or hand deliver it if it's within 75 miles radius of New Orleans. So yeah, that's
another thing you have in common, Billy.
What's that?
Is you both are somewhat restricted in terms of being able to go places. For instance, that I assume you're the deliverer.
Not necessarily. Every so often I am, but I do have a company on actually Chapatulas. That's a delivery company. They do over 1,000 deliveries a day. And I've worked myself in there, and they said, no problem, come on in, put your product here, and we'd be more than happy to handle your deliveries. So I don't have to be here, which is the beauty of the whole situation. I can be in Colorado or wherever and still run the business without a problem out of the van.
Jacques, I mean, actually, both of you must be at that stage where people are, all your friends have an idea for you. How you could become bigger or something like that. You've made a decision, though, not to do that. Jacques, you've mentioned how important it is for you to have, flexibility and all that. Is that kind of what's, kind of where you turn down the idea of having like a, like a brass band or something going through that?
Well, no. I mean, the way I see my business is it's more, here's a piano on a truck, be creative with it. I'm going to provide this service, and, you come up with something. Because I don't want to be the one, I mean, at first I had to, like, hey, let's park the truck in City Park and go busking there. Until we did that till we got kicked out. And now... then we found another park, Coliseum Square, which is, that's still happening. And it's become a thing, people show up for Andre Boren classical music. Expansion ideas, I think the only thing I was going to expand was the piano. And now no, if anything, it's just a matter of maintaining it. Maintaining it, 1972 International is working itself. I've had to change all the tires, all the rims, starter, all that fun stuff. And
but you can tune the piano.
I can tune the piano.
Right.
But can you tune a fish?
Yeah, I've tried.
Oh,
I've tried.
Look where this story is going. This is terrible.
But I'm curious. Do you make like T-shirts that are, like? Could you make a piano truck T-shirt, or is it just a specific brand of?
You're talking to the right person.
Okay, because I'll tell you,
more than happy to talk to you about some private label things.
I thought, well, I'm going to design my own design. And,
yep.
I piano truck, and I brought it to a place, and we made shirts, and just like it's not that good. The colors are. I thought, well, I'm going to make all the decisions, and that wasn't a good idea. So I thought, I'm going to do another one. So, is that something that I could approach you and just find, like, hey, like, what do you...
Sure.
Do you actually do the designs?
Well, actually, I don't, but the people that I work with out of Bert's Shirts, out of Fort Collins, they... the son is an artist.
Right.
And so he has the ability to, come up with mock-ups or whatever your ideas are, and send them down and take a look at it. What do you think?
Right.
So yeah.
So okay, well that's good to know.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
might follow you up on that.
Yeah. I'm glad you're working with Andre Boren too, because that's the first thing that I thought of when piano on a truck. I'm like, Andre, does a lot of that.
Yeah, he does.
He would be
actually.
perfect on a truck.
It would be perfect.
Around 5,525 years ago, it was probably a Thursday, in ancient Mesopotamia, the wheel was invented. To say it was a revolutionary invention is not just a bad pun, it's also an understatement of several millennia. And just when you think about every possible use of the wheel has already been thought of, along comes the 21st century and hashtag van life and piano on a truck. Billy and Jacques, congratulations on discovering yet more places the revolutions of a wheel can take us. Thank you both for taking the time to join me today on Out to Lunch.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Thanks very
Appreciate
much.
it. Yeah, great lunch.
My guests on Out to Lunch today have been Jacques Furland, owner of Piano on a Truck, and Billy Schell, owner and CEO of NOLA Shirts. We edited this show to fit into the time slot here on WWNO. You can hear our unedited conversation and find out more about Jacques and Billy's businesses on wheels by listening to the Out to Lunch podcast. You can find and subscribe to the Out to Lunch podcast on your podcast app and on our website, itsneworleans.com. If you want to know what we all look like, you can find photos from the show on itsneworleans.com and on our Out to Lunch social media. These photos were taken today by Jill LaFleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. Out to Lunch is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com and WWNO 89.9 FM. The producer of our show is Grant Morris, our technical producer is Eric Merle, and our researcher is Amy Irvin. I'm Peter Raschuti. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to meeting you again next week around the lunch table for more business, New Orleans style, on Out to Lunch.
Out to Lunch was recorded live at Columns on St. Charles Avenue. Columns serves lunch and dinner 7 days a week, hosts weddings and private events, features evenings of live jazz and more. Reservations for dining and hotel rooms are at thecolumns.com. Columns is a member of New Orleans & Company. More information at neworleans.com. Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys and offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Luba Workers' Comp, a regional insurance carrier dedicated to providing reliable workers' compensation coverage to employers and workers in 13 states across the Southeast. With personalized service, trusted expertise, and tailored solutions, Luba helps businesses protect what matters most. Discover more at lubawc.com. And by JP Morgan Chase, a partner in financial planning. Looking ahead to retirement, growing your business, or for commercial banking, JP Morgan Chase offers advice and solutions tailored to individual needs and client well-being. More information is at jpmorganchase.com. Mitchell Foreman wrote and performs all the music on Out to Lunch. You can hear Mitchell's music anywhere great jazz is sold or streamed, and at mitchellforeman.com.